Speaking about the album, what's the name of the album?
The album is called Intersection. This album is based off a book as well, which is written by me. And each chapter of the book is actually each different song in the album, so it's kind of connected together. And I'm finishing it, and it's coming out very soon. However, I don't know the exact release date yet, but it's going to be something cool. And it's coming soon, maybe like in a month or something.
Okay, that's nice. What inspired you to do this book or the creation of the album?
Well, you know, I've been inspired to do the book firstly because I like these philosophical things and a lot of kind of sci-fi ideas. And I remember one time at night, because you know I don't sleep, I compose music all the time. So I was like just doing something, just composing, playing something, and then it reminded me of some kind of skyscraper, something mysterious, and I was like, oh, interesting. So I started just writing something, and then I was like, wow, what if I connect it together and create it in an album and do something more interactive? So then it just kind of spread, and yeah.
Okay, you know, every time like we listen to music, there's always a message in between. Like if it's romantic, if it's hardcore, it was like rock. But you're like electric.
Yeah. Well, this album, the whole idea of it is each song is in a different style.
Meaning?
I do have a jazz, I have opera, classical. Even recently I've been recording like a small orchestra at Firdaus studio here.
Didn't you were yesterday with somebody from the opera? Are you doing something for the opera?
No, yesterday I worked with one Ukrainian folk singer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been performing my song in, she lives in Germany.
Wow.
So she's been performing in the National Theatre at Hamburg.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, tell me more about Intersection.
Yeah, so Intersection is a concept album, which is, I already said, based off a book with each song in a different style. But the book is a huge thing, which is going to be out. The book is not out yet. It's going to be out with the album. And you cannot listen to the album without reading the book.
Wow. So basically I'm just like opening that book, listening to the music and following like the lead of... Okay.
Well, I can't really say the whole thing here, but it's hidden things which kind of corresponds with our world. That's why it's called Intersection, because all the ways, you know, like a roads crossing paths. So it's kind of connected to everything.
That's very deep though.
Yeah, and each chapter is that way.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, it's really when you talk about it this way, and I look at you as you with your style, with your hair, with your clothes on, and all that, like it really shows how deep you are as a thinker and how alien material you are. I love it, man. I love this kind of an artist of you, because rare anyone does this. And I'm sorry, and I apologize for everyone, like in a way, but you are original. You're not fake. You're not doing it for the sake of doing it. It's just you, Dibal, just walking. Like when I see you on the street from far away, I was like, dude, that's Dibal, man. I know you from your clothes, I know you from the hair, I know you from your height, I know how you walk. Okay, regardless, now I know you for a long time. But imagine the future when kids and people and followers and listeners, they see you, they know you. You are original, you are unique. For me, I see you unique. You're not ordinary. You are a super creative content DJ or composer, creator. This is how I want to put it all together in a way. I have a lot to put though, but what's coming up from my mind is this. Now, speaking about your music and speaking about your style, barely anyone has that kind of style, by the way. That curls.
Oh.
For me, recently in Dubai, you're the only one who I know as that kind of a color, that brown, and that curls. I never seen anyone like that. So I'm telling you, man, you're unique, and I'm gonna follow you forever, and you know that. I've told you this before, that I'm there for you. However, now question is, what musical styles or influences did you bring into this kind of a project, and is there a signature sound to Intersection?
Yeah. So starting from the different genres and styles, I've been working and collaborating with different singers and musicians from different parts of the world in this album, and all of them bring some kind of different voice to the album as well, and different styles. So working with opera singers, jazz singers, electronic folk, so a lot of different, but there is something in common. Each song is connected. So while you're listening from beginning till the end, all of the songs are connected together, but they can also be listened by itself. But if you listen from the beginning till the end, the whole story is uncovering, so it kind of, you do feel the similar things.
So if I am a composer in a way and I had your track, I can remove all those songs or those not lyrics, like the beats, and I can concentrate, let's say, only on the da-ding, da-ding, da-ding. That still can tell me a story?
Yeah.
Shit. Wow. So I have another question. How did you decide what kind of music fits each dimension's narrative? And what was the creative process like for merging music with storytelling?
As I said in the beginning, first, I just like to jam in the nights. It's very peaceful when it's very dark and stuff, so you can just play the synthesizer, different chords and different things, and then that gives you some imagination of like you're playing some space stuff. And then especially when you combine classical things, classical piano, like some kind of classical things, with some space stuff, it gives you that different kind of dimension feel. So it's like it's a classical world, but somewhere in space or somewhere far away. So you're like, oh yeah. So that's how I was like, just imagining. I was just playing. I imagined some characters. What's happening? What's that? And then I was like, oh, maybe I should write something. Yeah. And by the way, it's not just just imaginary world or just an imaginary fantasy book, but it's also connected to my personal story as well, because that's the way how I kind of see the world in different parts, and kind of I hid that in the eastern parts of that book.
Wow. Speaking about the book, is there a secret connection between the music and the events in the book? And should readers listen to the album as they read the book? Or the story in a way? I know it's a story, as you said, as a storytelling, but how can we relate to it?
So yeah, the coolest part about this is each song can be listened by itself. So each song has its own meaning if it's being heard by itself. But if you listen to the album from the beginning to the end, the actual story of that book that I intended to it is, people can understand it easily. But the whole idea of this project kind of to have a secret meaning connecting to our life through that kind of imaginary worlds. But we never know. What if different dimensions exist?
Now that's a nice question for us to leave. What will happen? I wouldn't know. We're gonna wait and see. All right, Dibal. Dibal, before we finish up our talk, and that's like an really immersive talk that we have, and like I'm really don't want to finish it in a way, but we have to in a way. Give me your last quote or your last inspirational thought, deep from your mind, to make really people think after we end up or after they press close, to think about.
I can say something that connects with the book. So we never knew what's real, but there's some things that really we have to look for to understand what's really important.
I like. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dibal in the house, my man. I'm really happy that I really had that time and conversation with you and to do that kind of a talk. I'm looking forward for your album. Are we expecting a date?
I'm planning to announce the release date in a month.
In a month?
Yeah.
So that will be in November 2024.
Yep.
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to be a big hit, big surprise?
Yeah, definitely.